Japan must strengthen its defense capabilities, Defense Minister Shinjiro Koizumi has told the BBC, emphasizing the need to revisit the pacifist posture that has defined the country since World War II. He said boosting defense, reinforcing its alliance with the United States and expanding collaboration with like-minded countries was part of building multi-layered deterrence critical for ensuring that no new war breaks out in this region.
A former Nigerian oil minister has been cleared of taking bribes from wealthy oil executives in the form of luxury homestays and lavish spending sprees in the UK. Yedzani Allison's Madueke, 65, was found not guilty after a trial at London's Southwark Crown Court of 5 counts of accepting bribes and a charge of conspiracy to commit bribery.
Harare, Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe's lithium industry is dominated by a handful of large-scale mining projects, most of them backed by Chinese investment. Major producers include Bikita Minerals in Msvingo Province, Prospect Lithium Zimbabwe's Arcadia mine near Harare, Kamativi Lithium mine in Matabeleland North, Sabi Star Lithium mine in Beira, Sandawana mine in Berengwa, and Gwanda Lithium mine in Matabeleland South. Together, these projects have helped make Zimbabwe one of Africa's leading lithium producers and an increasingly important supplier of battery minerals used in electric vehicles and renewable energy technologies. Finance Minister set to deliver winding-up speech today, cut motions to follow. Spats between ruling opposition lawmakers degenerate into name-calling. PPP defence BISA allocations, demands more funds for agriculture as land bad. Finance Minister Mohamed Aurangzeb is set to deliver the winding-up speech in the lower house, as the general debate on the federal budget is expected to be finished today, Thursday, in line with its preset 40-hour duration. Chief Minister Murad reduces capital expenditure by 29% to 720 BN for next fiscal year. Education, health, environment and social protection to take major hits Karachi. Sindh Chief Minister Murad Ali Shah on Wednesday cut development spending by a steeper 29%, 720 billion for 2026 to 27, compared with the original estimates for the outgoing fiscal year.
Long before a church is burned, a mosque vandalised or a mob assembled, the poison that enables such violence has been spreading quietly for months or years. Hate speech rarely begins with physical attacks. It starts with words that portray entire communities as threats, outsiders or people less deserving of rights and dignity. By the time violence erupts, the prejudices behind it have often become deeply entrenched.
A US-Iran agreement to extend the ceasefire between the two countries has been signed and is now in effect. A White House official has confirmed to the BBC President Donald Trump formally signed the deal, which is set to reopen the pivotal Strait of Hormuz, while attending the G7 summit in Evian-les-Bains in France.
Ghana's fans and players celebrated wildly as Caleb Urenki finished a sweeping counter-attack with a tap-in goal in the 5th minute of second-half stoppage time to give the team a last-gasp win over Panama in both teams' opening World Cup match in rainy Toronto. The goal was followed by a melee before the referee blew the full-time whistle, sealing a 1-0 victory in the Group L match on Wednesday.
South Africa coach Hugo Broos told critics of his tactics in last week's World Cup opener to shut up and insisted he would continue to do things his way when planning for his team's group, a clash against Czechia. There was an outcry in South Africa when Broos took a rare defensive approach in the tournament's opening match against Mexico last Thursday, which his team lost 2-0 without creating any genuine chances of their own.
It happened to me. I opened a Google Doc to write an article, and I was immediately confronted with a text box inviting me to write with Gemini. I looked for some button to swipe away the garish AI display, but I could not find it. It made me mad. Now, instead of writing the article I'm supposed to be working on, I am writing about how to get the AI pop-ups off of your Google Doc screen, since it took me some time to figure out. You're welcome. US President Donald Trump and Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian a short while ago formally signed a historic peace agreement to end months of war, despite reckless attempts by Israel to sabotage the deal. The signing took place electronically during a dinner hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron at the Palace of Versailles in France, where Trump officially endorsed the agreement. On the other end, Pezeshkian signed the same deal to commence the 60-day period to reach a deal.
Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif said early on Thursday that the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, between the United States and Iran had been signed electronically by both sides. The memorandum has been signed by honourable presidents of both the countries and also endorsed by me as the mediator. The signing of this agreement at the highest level of the respective governments demonstrates the commitment of both sides to a diplomatic resolution of the conflict, he said in a post on the social media platform X.
The administration of United States President Donald Trump has announced that all immigrant detainees have been transferred out of a Florida detention facility known as Alligator Alcatraz, effectively shuttering the controversial facility. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, said on Wednesday that everyone being held in the state-run facility had been transferred out, citing concerns about the start of the Atlantic hurricane season.
Iran's Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson, Esmail Baghai, has announced that a memorandum of understanding with the United States has been finalised and signed electronically by both sides. He added that the agreement has already gone into effect. It's been called Ramageddon. AI's insatiable demand for hardware has caused a worldwide shortage of memory chips. Now, outgoing Apple CEO Tim Cook is warning its customers that your next Mac, iPhone or iPad could be more expensive thanks to surging memory and storage chips costs. In a recent interview, Cook told the WSJ that price increases are unavoidable, spite of efforts to absorb chip costs that have increased fourfold since last year. He described the situation as unsustainable.
Harry Kane scored twice in the first half as England eventually saw off Croatia 4-2 to launch their World Cup assault in Texas. Jude Bellingham immediately after half-time and substitute Marcus Rashford with 5 minutes to go ensured a winning start for Thomas Tuchel's side after Croatia had fought back to level at 2-2 in Wednesday's game.
Harry Kane scored twice in the first half as England eventually saw off Croatia 4-2 to launch their World Cup title assault in Texas on Wednesday. Jude Bellingham immediately after half-time and substitute Marcus Rashford with 5 minutes to go ensured a winning start for Thomas Tuchel's side after Croatia had fought back to level at 2-2.
CCTV footage released by police shows thieves using a bulldozer to tear an ATM from the front of a bank branch in eastern England. The entire raid took less than 4 minutes, leaving behind a trail of damage. A top Huawei executive's admission that the Chinese telecom company illegally conducted business in Iran can be used in the upcoming US trial against Huawei. A US judge has ruled. The ruling was filed in Brooklyn Federal Court on Tuesday. Chihua Shen has spent more than 2 decades as a venture capitalist, but he thinks like a cultural anthropologist. As a co-founder of Goodwater Capital, a firm focused exclusively on consumer and prosumer technology, he has built a portfolio spanning entertainment, healthcare, fintech, and live experiences, with investments in companies like MIDI Health, Fever, and Monzo. He was also, as a 27-year-old associate at Accel, the person who initially found a 6-person company launched from Harvard called the Facebook. That ability to read human behavior at scale informs everything from his view that Americans will never trust a single app with both their social lives and their finances, to his belief that the gap between the most advanced AI model and what you can run on your phone, once as wide as 2 years, will shrink to 3 months within the next year.
A senior senior United States official has read the text of a memorandum of understanding to end the US-Israel war with Iran during a call with reporters. The account is the clearest yet from the administration of US President Donald Trump on the deal, which is scheduled to be signed in a ceremony by both sides on Friday.
Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has warned that the United States should not interfere in his country's upcoming presidential race, which is being held in October. Wednesday's remarks came after both Lula and his US counterpart Donald Trump attended the Group of Seven G7 conference in Evian-les-Bains, France.
Loading the player Token Maxing was the hottest trend in Silicon Valley earlier this year, with CEOs encouraging employees to push AI usage as far as it would go. Then the bill came due. Uber reportedly blew through its annual AI budget in a few months. Some companies cut Claude licenses for parts of their org, and Meta killed its internal leaderboard.
Snap's long-awaited AR glasses specs didn't have the best debut. The company's stock hasn't been on the healthiest trajectory lately. It's dropped 30% over the past year. Following specs launch, it sank more than 5%, falling from $5.86 a share on Tuesday to a low of $4.83 on Wednesday morning. As of this writing, the stock still hasn't recovered the position it held prior to the announcement.
Former Sequoia Capsule managing partner Roelof Botha is joining SpaceX's board of directors less than a week after the company went public in the largest IPO ever. SpaceX announced the appointment in a filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission on Wednesday. It said Botha was appointed to fill the existing vacancy on the board and that he will serve until SpaceX's next annual shareholder meeting. He will also join the SpaceX board's audit committee. Botha didn't immediately respond to a request for comment.
Ghana midfielder Thomas Partey, who is facing trial on rape charges in Britain, lost a court challenge on Tuesday that would have allowed him to enter Canada for his side's World Cup opener in Toronto. Ottawa denied the Villarreal player a visa over the British charges, blocking him from playing for Ghana against Panama on Wednesday.
After spending 25 years in Israeli prisons, Abdul Karim al-Ramawi embraced his son Majd for the first time. Majd was born in 2013 through sperm smuggled from prison and used in IVF treatment. He grew up without ever meeting his father until now.
Cristiano Ronaldo's record-equalling 6th World Cup got off to a disappointing start as the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DR Congo, secured their first ever point at the football finals, drawing 1-1 with Portugal in their Group K match. Yoane Wissa's header cancelled out João Neves' early goal on Wednesday, and the African side, appearing in their first World Cup since 1974, when their country was known as Zaire, more than held their own.
The mother of Cape Verde's star goalkeeper Vozinha has been granted a visa to enter the United States in time for her 40-year-old son's next World Cup match. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries announced Vozinha and his mother will be reunited in Miami in time for the match on Sunday. Jeffries shared Wednesday on social media.
A new lawsuit filed by the US Federal Trade Commission, FTC, is a showcase of how hard it's become to police the app stores for scammy apps. The suit alleges that a company known as Genesis Tech defrauded consumers and routed revenues overseas through the use of shell companies designed to conceal its identity and hide its assets. Genesis Tech's network allegedly included a series of subsidiaries incorporated in Cyprus and operating in Ukraine, which marketed its apps to US consumers. Among its brands were fitness and nutrition apps Mad Muscles, Harna, and Unimeal by Amoapps Limited, PDF Guru and PDF Master from Gurudox Limited, fashion app Lumi from Bramall Limited, horoscope app Nebula by Obrio Limited, habit and personal productivity apps under the brand Wisey by Koflimin Limited, and others.